The social costs are direct and indirect. The direct costs are associated with inability to work, loss of income, cost of medication, hospitalisation.
It's difficult in the workplace to have a mental illness. You know, it's really different from a physical illness. Like, people don't understand that you can't just shake yourself out of something.
A major number of people with a mental illness, providing they're getting their medication on a regular basis, are able to work. Unfortunately, because of our present system that perhaps doesn't help them the way it should, a lot of them are not working.
They sacked me from a job because I was off work so long, which is completely illegal now to sack someone with a person with a mental illness because of mental illness.
These people have lost their skills, lost their confidence, lost their self-esteem.
And like, how do you explain to an employer you spent 9 months in a psychiatric hospital?
I've often had to take on casual positions, and as a casual worker, you're not respected in the same way that full-time workers usually are, and you usually don't get the supervision that other workers get. You're thrown in at the deep end with little training, and then you're often used as a scapegoat.
The indirect costs are the social ones, the inability to form a relationship, to maintain a relationship, to feel that you're an effective parent.
People with chronic mental illness burn out their families, friends don't come to visit them and so forth, and apart from going to Centrelink and the mental health service and the public trust, if they're under the public trust, that's about the only contacts, and occasionally maybe a parent might come to visit them on a special day. And it's organisation like St Vincent de Paul, who have people who do go out to visit, who can be sort of approached when there's somebody who's having sort of problems in the community, for someone to visit, and this is their lifeline. It's their lifeline.
Mental illness in the country, of course, is a little bit different perhaps, and it's not as obvious as it is in the city. However, it's still there. And the main one, I guess, it starts off as depression. People, because of the situation they're in, you know, they don't see where the next shower of rain's going to come from, and that's their livelihood. And they then become depressed, and they really a lot of them are single people who live on their own, men in particular. Some of the men, younger men in particular, are really troubled by this, and so they've got nobody to talk to, nobody to turn to.
One of the interesting findings in regard to the disability associated with depression is that it's not, the majority doesn't come from people not being able to get to work. The majority actually comes from people who get to work but can't fire up, can't concentrate, and they find the depression impairs their day-to-day functioning.
Yeah, they can't really understand, well, why can't this person motivate themselves to get to work? You know, what are they doing? Are they being lazy? And it's far from laziness. I think, you know, it's more about, that not having any motivation or any confidence to go about your daily tasks. I mean, your confidence just plummets.
So we see very, very severe acute effects on social functioning, but there's also this slow drip effect of the mental illness and the collateral damage effects that creep through year after year. And because so many mental illnesses come on at a young age, you can see why they're so impairing.
Mental illness is not a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday problem. Neither is drug and alcohol use. But yet we have, and we have had for 20 years, a community mental health service which operates 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And we have an alcohol and drug authority which also operates 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
The tide is turning in our favour, yes, I'll say our favour, and things are getting better, but they'll never be perfect. And we're under-resourced. The Beyond Blue says that mental illness causes about 20% of the total economic loss to the nation, and only gets 8% of the health resources of the health funds or the health funding from government. Whatever the figures may be, it'll always be the case.
For some Vincentians, mental illness is something that they're frightened of, or is something that they wouldn't know how to handle and wouldn't want to handle. So in cases of that nature, you've got to find somebody else that is prepared to go out and visit these people. Now, if it's not the local Vincentian, you go and get one from maybe from a conference next door who's had some experience with it. But I think the major thing to remember is that people with mental illness are not necessarily dangerous. And in fact, I'd say about 95% of cases, they are not dangerous at all. All they need is usually someone to talk to and someone to help them. And that's where Vincentians come to the fore.